The lead investigator in Senzo Meyiwa's murder, Bongani Gininda, has for the first time told the court how state witness Sizwe Zungu's tip-off led to the arrest of accused number 1 and 2. Zungu is the police officer who placed all 5 accused at a hostel in Vosloorus. This was hours before the soccer sensation was killed in October of 2014. 5 men are on trial for the crime. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi has been monitoring this particular story for us, and he is with us in studio this evening to give us almost a wrap, Linda, of what is basically expected to be the state's last witness, this Brigadier Bongani Gininda. Talk to us about the history that he has given the court today, about the history of this case, but also telling us about how the police actually made this major breakthrough. Talk to us about all of those elements.
Indeed, only a big day in the Senzo Meyiwa case, as this testimony essentially marks the end of the state's case, just a week before we mark the 10th anniversary of Senzo Meyiwa's passing. Now, Brigadier Bongani Gininda is the lead investigator, as you would know, in this particular matter, and he basically told the court about how exactly they made a breakthrough after a number of challenges within the SAPS, but he essentially got a call from the then National Commissioner, about a gentleman that wanted to speak to him about people that may have been involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. He essentially said there was a gentleman that knows somebody who could give them information, and it turned out that Sizwe Zungu's father was the person that had the information about accused number 1 allegedly being involved in this particular matter. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
On the 17th of November 2019, the father, Constable Zungu, brought the father, who then gave me a statement, and that statement implicated accused 1 and 2. So those names were in a sworn affidavit for the first time.
And what is the name of Constable Zungu's father?
It's Absalom. I remember the name Absalom Zungu, my lord. His affidavit that I obtained was attached and disclosed to the defense, my lord. I think in my trial within trial evidence, I also referred to it. So for the first time then, my lord, now we had 2 possible suspects, and this is where, and I dealt with it, I think also in the trial within trial, the cold case analysis around them, meaning now accused 1 and 2 started. And that resulted in a number of cases being picked up under accused number 1, which I then took a decision that I'll assign those matters to Sergeant Mohola to investigate those matters, and matters coming out under accused number 2, those matters were then assigned to Sergeant Mohane to say he must look at them while we were focusing on this main case, my lord. My lord, obviously that led to the events that took place on the 30th of May 2020. That is now when accused 1 was arrested for the Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019.
But before this breakthrough, Koli, there were a number of challenges. You'd recall that the National Cold Case Unit, which is led by Brigadier Bongani Gininda, is the second team that investigated this case. And when they received this particular docket in November of 2018, there were, copies that were made of the dockets where they analyzed what had already been done by the previous teams, but there were still issues around the theories of what exactly could have happened on the night that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. And after analyzing those dockets, the team, the National Cold Case Unit, also had differing views about what could have happened the night Senzo Meyiwa was killed. There were 2 particular officers, according to Gininda, who felt that there were no intruders in that particular house. And he said after analyzing that particular docket, he then reached a conclusion that, in fact, there were, intruders in that house. And that led to the establishment or the opening of what we know now as the second docket. That's docket 375 that was opened by Warrant Officer Makubo and Buthelezi. Let's take a listen to how those differing views, or how he explains those differing views leading to the establishment or the opening of the second docket.
You make copies for members of all members of the team. You ask them to go and read the evidence and analyze it. What happened thereafter?
So we would have then got together, my lord, where now these different views came up that, there's the two that I've mentioned, the two members believe they were intruders, and we had a view, I had a view, together with Colonel Ramohala, that the evidence suggests that they were intruders. And it is based on that slowly then we went apart. There was no formal arrangement for the team, these other two members, to stop working with us, but they we just went different directions, my lord. And that gave rise to the opening of the docket 375 of 1/2019. I was not aware of it. I learned at a lesser stage, my lord, after this docket was opened, that it was in existence, and it was suggesting that certain people in the house were involved.
Interesting point, Oli, is that Brigadier Bongani Gininda tells the court that the second docket is not a murder docket. It is, in fact, a docket for defeating the ends of justice. He went on to also explain how he reached the conclusion that there were intruders in that particular house. He said one of the methods that he used, or what he looked at in the docket, was the cell phone of Kelly Kumalo that was allegedly taken during that robbery. He said while everybody, including Longwe Twala, was at the hospital after Senzo Meyiwa was shot, that phone showed a different location. And that's one of the reasons that made him believe that there were indeed intruders. He's back again tomorrow for further examination in chief.